We all use technology every day.
A person at a library computer, a person using a mobile phone, a person buying a train ticket.
And we're using it to do more things all the time.
Library card catalog becomes a computer.
Some of the things we used to do face-to-face, we now do with automated systems.
Ticket booth becomes a ticket machine.
For most of us, those systems are okay most of the time. And when there are problems, we can find a way to get along.
Glare on ticket machine screen. Hand shields the screen so it can be read.
But those of us with disabilities often run into situations where the technology doesn't work well enough to meet our abilities.
Person with low vision sees a blurry ticket machine screen.
In some cases, we can use assistive technology to bridge the gap.
Words assistive technology appear on computer screen.
Assistive technology, or AT, can provide text for speech,
Video chat with captions.
turn text into speech,
The weather today will be mostly sunny.
Words highlighted on computer screen as they are spoken.
or make words on a screen easier to read.
Computer login screen in high contrast.
Whatever the user needs to accomplish a task. Unfortunately, we don't all have the assistive technology we need, and we can't always take it with us to use anywhere we want.
Long line of people without AT.
Imagine if you could pick up any device, anywhere, and it would automatically adapt to you.
Person picks up device and it changes size.
Imagine someone who is usually confused by technology. Now every computer looks like their personal device. Simple, with just the controls and features they need.
Complicated computer screen changes to a simple version.
Imagine a student who has to use computers in different labs and classrooms. If all of them worked exactly as needed,
Student in 2 classrooms. Each computer becomes accessible as she needs it.
there's a way to offer accessibility solutions to more people in more situations. We call it the National Public Inclusive Infrastructure, or NPII.
Name and initials NPII appear.
NPII will use the cloud, the electronic networks that power most of our information services, and the intelligence in electronic products themselves.
Cloud with server symbols and dotted lines show information flow.
Right now, we use the cloud to store information, transmit it to the right destination, and convert it from one form into another.
Information moves into, around, and back out of the cloud to various devices.
NPII will take the same cloud idea and use it to support accessibility.
NPII Cloud.
Users will start with a wizard that helps them choose how they want their personalized interface to look and work.
Person at computer making selections.
And store that profile in the cloud so that it's available from then on.
Profile information flows into the cloud.
Accessibility developers will create tools for the toolbox that address those needs.
Accessibility software flows into the cloud.
NPII will store information about devices, their uses and features.
Device information flows into the cloud.
Then, when a user needs an accessibility feature,
Message on mobile phone is hard to read.
NPII will take the right user profile and features,
Accessibility information flows from the cloud to the phone.
check the device, and guide the device in using its own features to meet the user's needs.
Screen changes to large print.
NPII will automatically apply the right tool to whatever device the person is using, wherever it is. So the interface will work the right way.
The same person now sees large print on a train ticket machine.
NPII will be great for users. It will support independence with enabling technology. When you need it, where you need it, how you need it. There's no need to explain, negotiate, or justify anything. It just works.
A traveler gets the right interface at airport check-in, information kiosk, and the seat back display on the plane.
All of the information will be kept private and secure.
NPII Cloud with padlock.
NPII will be great for society. It will offer wider participation in education, employment, commerce, and our communities.
Many people on a street with a school, offices, stores, and community center.
NPII will provide another way, an easy way, for accessibility developers and companies to reach and serve their customers.
Developer uploads access software to the cloud.
NPII will give mainstream technology companies an easy way to match accessibility features to their products and services as they're being designed.
Product designers upload its features to the cloud.
Where professional services are needed, NPII will give counselors, therapists, and educators more options for evaluation and management.
Client and therapist work together on the wizard.
NPII will let schools, libraries, and other public locations serve everyone more easily. Every user will get the interface they're already familiar with.
The weather today will be mostly sunny.
Library computer shows low vision interface, then screen reader interface for 2 different users.
Employers will be able to accommodate new employees. They can promote and relocate employees without having to reconfigure or reinstall a lot of technology.
Employee gets promoted, new workstation automatically has the accessible interface.
NPII will offer a new way of providing accessibility when, where, and how it's needed. We're just getting started building it.
NPII construction site.
We'll be working closely with consumer advocates, AT and mainstream technology companies, and other stakeholders to make sure it meets their needs.
Stakeholder circles appear in NPII Cloud.
NPII needs the help of policymakers and leaders.
Capitol building with policy leaders.
We hope that you find NPII as exciting as we do, and spread the word. Now, we want to hear your ideas about NPII, what it means to you, and how we can work together.
Expanding network of people discussing NPII. The NPII is an international collaborative effort. For more information, see http://npii.org.
So what if we had such a thing? What if we had a situation where we were actually able to address the full range of individuals and disabilities? So what if we had something, for example, that would allow a child? Right now, today we have in the United States, I'll speak out of the United States experience. I think the experience is similar in other countries, but I will speak from there. But we have children, for example, who can use an assistive technology in the school, but they are not allowed to take them home because they are, quote, owned by the school, provided by the school, or to the library. They even have assistive technologies that are in the cloud. All right, so they can use them anywhere in the school system, but when they're out of the school system, they can't use them because the school system can't tell the AT vendor who's in the school because of privacy. You can't give out the names of the students in the school. So you can't tell them which children should be allowed to have access. The result in both cases is that kids can go to school, but they can't go home. They can't do homework. They can't go to the library. They can't do work there. And those of you who have children know that it's really hard to go to school if you can't work at home or at the library or any place else. Instead, the child would be able to sit down at any computer anywhere, library, home, school, and be able to access and use it. Teachers today are overwhelmed. They're trying to teach the class. They have different kids with different disabilities. Each kid, when he sits down at the computer, they have to set the computer up again for that child. And then when they leave, they got to unset it up and set it up for the next child. What if teachers could just teach? And when the kids came to the computer, it would automatically configure to the way that that child needs to have it. We have a problem when children, they graduate. We take care of them all through school. When they graduate and they're supposed to go out and get a job, we take away all their assistive technologies. They can't take their technology, they can't take their setup. They're already losing all their support systems. And what if, when children graduated and went out, the technologies and stuff would just follow them? They would be able to use the same things. They wouldn't have to start all over again. We have public libraries and access points, and that's the place where most people today first learn about computers. When we are trying to we talk about adoption rate, getting everybody on the internet, etc. The place they mostly do that is at public access points. That's the first place they go. And for many people who can't afford their own technologies or their own internet connection, that's the only way they have access. They go there and they find out there's 2 pieces of assistive technology, or 3, and it's not the right one for them. Maybe they're blind and they go in and there's a screen reader, but it's a really powerful one, like say JAWS, because it needs to be for the people who are, really technically oriented. But they can't handle that, and so there's nothing for them. What if the libraries could rent AT in a cloud? They would have a service, and they would just contract for that service, and then they would be able to go into any library, and any patrons that came in, whatever AT they needed would be provided. And the library would only pay for the AT that was used. So what they would do is they'd say, I will contract with you, and all of the AT that exists, basically, you arrange to have them there. When my clients come in, whatever they need, they get, and I'll pay for it. But I won't pay for all this AT that I used to buy that nobody came in and used. And I won't have the situation where the patrons come in and it's all the wrong stuff that I bought. And I also have this problem with my ID department. They used to go nuts because I was asking them to support all this assistive technology, and they had no idea what it all did or how it worked, how to set it up, and then they had to replace it every 8 months anyways because it became obsolete. What if we have a person, when they would go up to Amazon to buy a book, and they need to have it with captions, or they need to have it in a form they can read because they can't see. They go up. It's one of those books that Amazon has where it's not allowed, Kindle's not allowed to read it. But it would automatically know that you're entitled to get accessible books. And so it would immediately take you, without you even knowing it existed, it would take you to a service that provided free audiobooks or audiobooks for people who are blind and have disabilities, who are qualified. A person who's blind, instead of having an evacuation, you got an emergency, you're supposed to evacuate, and they send you an evacuation map, or they give you information, and it's a map. Now, how is a blind person supposed to take a graphic map and use it to try and escape from, at a time when all of the help systems are overwhelmed, so they can't just say, well, I'll just call up somebody and ask. Instead, the information would automatically come to them in a text form so that they could have it read or brailled or whatever was appropriate to them. Deaf people, when they tried to play a movie, if it didn't have captions, if the captions existed anywhere on the internet, the infrastructure would take them to them. And if it didn't exist in their language, it would also give it through a service that would say, there's no captions in your language, but we can do a translation for you if you wish, and we can do a free machine translation, or if you want, we can have a human being touch it up, and it'll cost you X amount. We even talk about crowdsourcing, where if a popular event happened, a speech by the president or something, and it wasn't captioned, that you could have people go up and they'd say, well, I'd give a nickel. And if enough people give a nickel, all of a sudden some captioning service says, hey, there's enough money accumulated here, I'll caption it. And so people can just sort of offer what they can afford, and if enough people do it, it happens all commercially, no charity, it's all there, and it happens. But the infrastructure has to be there to do it.